can be a powerful ally to you, Mr. President, and to the people of Somaliland, to make sure that the arguments are made forcefully in courts of law around the world.
This is the so-called Act of Union, one of the instruments. It is a worthless in legal terms.
That shining light of hope in this corner of the world. The world opens its eyes to what Somaliland is. Logical argument for recognition of a nation.
It will follow up and advance Somaliland recognition through every legal and diplomatic pathway available to us, systematically, strategically, and without rest.
Mr. President, it is a deep honor to be here today. Now, I didn't grow up in Hargeisa, or Berbera, or Boroma, or in Somaliland at all. The first time I read of Somaliland was of the tragedy that it was having to live through, the genocide it was having to survive. And then my first opportunity to come here was when I was Secretary of State for Defence. Now, my first visit to the Horn of Africa was to Mogadishu. I remember flying into Mogadishu, a once beautiful city that had been ravaged by war. I remember travelling as Defence Secretary from the airport to Villa Somalia to meet the President. And what did I see, Mr. President? Mr. President, I saw a country that was divided and racked by war. I saw a president who wasn't president of even the capital city, let alone a country. I saw a president in a country that was more interested in actually the business of terrorism in order to sustain itself, as against a country that was wanting to build a state to serve its people. After coming away from Mogadishu, I said to the Ministry of Defence, I want to see Somaliland. I want to see this place that we do not recognise, but seems to be doing so much right. And I recall arriving in Hargeisa. I recall the briefings that I had beforehand. And I recall seeing with my eyes for the first time a nation that seemed to put the value of people at the top of its agenda. The fact that it had democratic elections, some incredibly close, some less so, but actually everyone had a vote. A value on educating boys and girls, a value on making sure that people had freedom. It seemed to do everything that every Western nation asks people to do to show that they are a good citizen of the world. Yet Britain and other countries seemed to reward the country that did none of those, that seemed to follow none of the norms that we want a nation to do. And we seem to reward them, not to reward Somaliland, that was doing everything that we would wish it to do. From that moment onwards, it was clear to me that if I can do anything for this country to make sure that it has the recognition it deserves, that is a noble cause in of itself, and that is what has, from that moment, and will always drive me to say that Somaliland needs the recognition, needs the world to open its eyes to what it is. And I have seen the battles that the Somaliland people have had to fight. They have built a nation not with the support of every other country around the world, but often on its own, building out of the rubble of a genocide that the Mogadishu regime inflicted upon the people of this country, building its cities back up again, building businesses, building hope, acting as a beacon for what every nation should aspire to be in a very dangerous part of a world. Not always with the best neighbours, not always with the assistance that you deserve, but still going about and doing it. I hope that the Institute, in its own small way, can be a powerful ally, a constant partner to you, Mr. President, and to the people of Somaliland, to make sure that the arguments are made forcefully in courts of law around the world, whether it is supporting the government, supporting the people, to make sure that the clear, logical argument for recognition of a nation that has always been there, despite the efforts of some others, and is that shining light of hope in this corner of the world. I hope that we can play that role. I hope that we can support you. I believe that we can and we will. And we need to use every means necessary to make sure that we deliver on our aims. And those aims are to make sure the world opens its eyes to what Somaliland is, the people of Somaliland have been doing for so long, and make sure that together we make everyone see the true potential of this amazing country. And I have no doubt that we will, because I believe that truth and good intentions will ultimately combat the sometimes very difficult and malign intentions of your southern neighbour. But together we shall make sure that we shall triumph, and Somaliland will shine bright for many more generations to come. Thank you very much.
You see this? This is the so-called active union, one of the instruments. Hope you get the message. It is a worthless in legal terms. It is not worth the paper it is written on. The government ink on the face of this document only masked your intended tyranny, dictatorship, and genocide that always lay beneath the ink.
I've been traveling for a few weeks, so I'm a little tired right now. This is the last of my travels, and I want to say that I've become a student of your country and of all you've accomplished, and I've been deeply impressed by how far you have come.
All the long speeches has been made. Only probably that of the president's one remains. In my case, I only stood up to express and extend my sincere appreciation and gratitude to to all of you who have participated in this gathering, and who have, because of the importance I attach to the launching of this institution. Previously, we called the Diplomatic Institute. When I was in the Minister of Foreign Affairs, we called it the Diplomatic Institute, Diplomatic Institute, but now it seems to have a specific new name, which is the recognition of the independence of Somaliland. I don't have much to say. I've only, as far as the Parliament is concerned, we have the functions and the duties and the roles for all the democratic parliaments around the world. All I would say is I would congratulate the President and his government on launching this important, the functioning of this important institute. Thank you very much.
Today, as the Republic of Somaliland commemorates the 35th anniversary of the restoration of its sovereignty that have been hijacked from them in 1960, we gather not only to celebrate our history, but to define our future. This evening marks the official launch of Somaliland Independence Recognition Institute, a strategic institution established to strengthen Somaliland engagement with the international community through policy research, strategic dialogue, legal scholarship, and democratic innovation. Excellencies, for the past 35 years, Somaliland has stood as a living example that peace, democratic governance, and stability can emerge through reconciliation, policy maturity, and national ownership. We built our nation without foreign peacekeeping forces. We established democratic institutions through dialogue and constitutional order. As we secure our peace through responsibility, resilience, and partnership in a region too often associated with instability and conflict, Somaliland chose another path, the path of peace, the path of reconciliation, and the path for democratic state building. And behind these achievements stand the people of Somaliland, men and women who rebuilt these communities from the ruins, restored trust through dialogue, and consistently choose violence over bullets. Excellencies, the world is changing. Diplomacy is changing, and the nature of strategic influence is also changing. Modern diplomacy is no longer confined to formal recognition alone. Today, influence is increasingly shaped by economic connectivity, maritime security, technological cooperation, and climate resilience, digital engagement, and regional partnership. The new diplomacy of Somaliland. This diplomacy is not based on sympathy. It's based on strategic relevance. It's a diplomacy that positions Somaliland not as an isolated actor seeking attention, but as a reliable, constructive partnership that capable of contributing a meaningful and regional and international stability. In a fractured region, Somaliland chose democracy in an uncertain world. Somaliland offers reliability. This vision is clearly defined in the Somaliland Foreign Policy Framework 2025 to 2029, built upon 8 strategic pillars. 1. Democratic reconciliation and international relationship. Security and defense cooperation. Economic and social diplomacy. Environmental diplomacy. Cultural diplomacy. And public diplomacy. Together, these pillars define Somaliland modern statecraft and reflect our commitment to constructive international engagement. Ladies and gentlemen, Somaliland's diplomacy today is not merely about defending our history, it's about shaping our future. Somaliland seeks to become a strategic gateway for trade and investment in the Horn of Africa, a trusted maritime security partner along the Gulf of Aden and the Red Sea, a democratic and stable economic hub for the region, and a responsible regional actor that contributing peace and connectivity and cooperation. As the global attention increasing turns toward the Red Sea these days, and East African connectivity, Somaliland's geopolitical importance continues to grow. The Port of Berbera, the Berbera Corridor, and Somaliland's maritime security are no longer simply nation's assets. They are strategic assets with international significance. Through economic and social diplomacy, Somaliland seeks partnership that create a tangible opportunity for our people. Partnership that create jobs for our youth, expand trade and infrastructure, support innovation and education, and strengthen regional prosperity. Because diplomacy in the 21st century must deliver practical outcomes for our citizens, diplomacy must create an opportunity. First of all, diplomacy must strengthen prosperity, and diplomacy must improve the lives of our people. Another defining feature of Somaliland, this new diplomacy, is the digital and strategic communication. In today's world, influence is exercised not only through embassies and conference halls, but also through digital platform, strategic communication, media engagement, and innovation. Somaliland therefore seeks to amplify its global voice through multilingual digital diplomacy, media engagement, innovation partnership, and modernization of democratic institutions. And this is precisely why institutions such as this institution that we're launching today are critically important. The Sida represents Somaliland transition from reactive democracy to strategic diplomacy, for explaining Somaliland to positioning Somaliland, and from political survival to strategic influence. This institution will serve as a center for policy research, a platform for international dialogue, a hub for legal and diplomatic scholarship, and a bridge between Somaliland and the global institution, policymakers, academics, and partnership. Our case for recognition remains grounded in undeniable historical and legal legitimacy that my friend has clearly defined. The Republic of Somaliland was an internationally recognized sovereign state in June 26, 1960, before voluntarily entering or before it's being hijacked into a union that ultimately failed. The restoration of Somaliland's sovereignty in May 18, 1991 was therefore not an act of secession. It was a restoration of a sovereignty that already existed under the international law. But today, Somaliland's case extends beyond history alone. Today, Somaliland presents itself to the world as a contributor to regional security, a partner in economic integration, a defender of maritime security, a promoter of democratic governance in the region where that's unheard of, and a credible actor prepared to cooperate responsibility with the international community. Somaliland does not seek recognition to create stability. Somaliland seeks recognition because it's already delivered stability. Recognition of Somaliland would not weaken the whole of Africa, it would strengthen. Because stability must be rewarded, democracy must be encouraged, and responsibility statehood must be acknowledged. Excellencies, Somaliland remains firmly committed to constructive dialogue, regional cooperation, and peaceful engagement grounded in a mutual respect and a shared prosperity. To our international partners present here today, Somaliland extends its hand in friendship, cooperation, and strategic partnership. We stand ready to deepen cooperation in trade and investment, maritime security, climate resilience, digital transformation, education and innovation, and peace building across the Horn of Africa. The people of Somaliland, especially our youth and our diaspora across the world, the launch of this institution is a message of confidence, confidence in Somaliland's future, a confidence in Somaliland diplomacy, and a confidence in Somaliland's rightful place, the nation of the world, on the nation of the world. Because Somaliland history is no longer merely a story of survival, it is now a story of strategic relevance, democratic resilience, regional partnership, and global engagement. May Allah bless the Republic of Somaliland. I want to take this opportunity, just like my other minister before, to thank the Israeli government and the Israeli nation for the historic recognition of Somaliland. They have been the very first nations to recognize Somaliland independence back in 1960. And once again, they are the first country to recognize the independence of Somaliland. I want you to know, I want you to know, we are forever grateful for that. I want to also thank our ambassador, Taiwan ambassador, and Ethiopian representative here. As the other minister said, those three countries are our closest friend in this region. And I'm hope that they will soon follow the step of Israel to recognize Somaliland as well. Thank you very much, all of you.
It's honor for me that today we are launching Somaliland Independent Recognition Institute, and it really it's needed, and it will be an institute which unify the efforts of Somaliland recognition at home and abroad. So it's really timely and needed. And the president will make the keynote speech, but as a chief justice last 12 years, and as a human rights lawyer before, and as one of the civil society member, let me explain shortly. Somaliland is not only a new state, it's almost 35 years, and we have a separate of power. We have three different organs: the judiciary, the functioning parliament, and the executive. And if I say a very short explanation, the judiciary, we uphold the rule of law. In here, in Somaliland, there is independent courts which everybody can challenge. Let me say, our president 1.5 years ago, or near about 1 and 2 years, he used to be the opposition party, and he used to file a lot of cases from the court. He used to file a lot of cases against those, the ruling party at that time. So that it shows how we are functioning state. We have independent media, we have human rights groups, whether the public human rights or the civil society human rights. We have all kinds of media, electronic media, print media, social media. You cannot say how many media outlets we have here. And so this really is a rule of law. It's a functioning rule of law, not only here, but in the last 35 years. And about constitution, Somaliland referendum, there was a referendum for Somaliland constitution in 2001, and after that, we have 3 political parties, and every 10 years, there is the opening of the political parties, but now, just last year, 2 years ago, 2024, there was a presidential election, political party election, and so constitution clearly dictates and explains the functioning and the power of the three organs of the state. When it comes even not only about the rule of law, when it comes about the rule of law, as Jason explained, we have also the environment which can protect the international and the foreign investors, because we have a viable judiciary which you can challenge and which you can trust, because if there is no justice or the independent judiciary which the investors can trust, there will not be investor. And take an example, like the UAE, the DP World is a big investment, and they are functioning very long time now. So they can file cases, and they can be sued also, and they independently they can defend. So that's also another aspect which shows how Somaliland state is functioning and how we can attract. Why I'm mentioning the element of investment and the protection of the investment. It shows how Somaliland state is functioning. It's a where you can trust it, you can invest it, you can come here, you can feel safe, you can feel protected, because there's a rule of law. And the third aspect, which I want to also briefly mention, is the freedom of speech. As we know, the freedom of speech is the core and the corner of the independence and the justice. If there is no freedom of speech, there is no democracy, there is no accountability, there is no check and balance. Because when the people or the citizens of Somaliland, or even the foreigners, or even those who are coming, they must get the right information. They must get what is going on in the country. They must know the situation of the country, nothing to hide. So freedom of speech is one of our fundamental rights which we have here. And it's one of the reasons that we fought against the Ziad Barre dictator. It's one of the reasons why we fought against the military regime in Somalia, is to get the freedom of speech, to make our government accountable, to make our institutions, other institutions very accountable, to get the transparency. So the freedom of speech here is really 100%. And if they feel any pressure or any pressure from the executive branch or for any other branch of the state, simply they can challenge. And every month or every year, you can get, if you visit the judiciary, you can get the record. You can get the record, how many cases are there, how they defend when they are outside of the court. And we have also independent law and press law and the freedom law. And even those international media, they are coming. International media, they are coming, they are covering, they can go everywhere. As today we have seen a lot of international media over here. So freedom of speech is one of our corner and the sign of our state. And the judiciary is the arm which defended the freedom of speech. The other point I want to also explain is the civil society. I myself used to be a member of civil society, very long time. I have been leading the civil society 5 years. Whole the media, different media, women's organization, youth, and environmental groups, lawyers associations, and disability or the disability groups, all the forums. I used to be chair 5 years. And we have here well-organized civil society, which is an oversight, it's a soft oversight of the state. The House of Parliament is oversight. It's a rigid one because they have a law, because the executive will be accountable, and they get the reports, and they get the back to reports, like the audit report is, like what every ministry or the different ministries are doing. But the civil society here in Somaliland also is a softy oversight here. They have a voice, and no one can silence them. No one can silence them. They have a voice. They can criticize every activity, whether the executive, whether the judiciary, whether the parliament. They visit, they make a report, independent report yearly. They talk to us. Every 3 months, I meet the civil society. So that is really is a very, very clear sign which shows how this state is a really rule of law function. We have a very good, strong civil society which represents even not only about the local organization like NGOs and like local organizations, international civil society also are coming, international media. Let me give you an example. If there any case, human rights case, or if there any media related cases, Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, and others, easily they can communicate with us. They can contact us. We share every time what's going on. They report, and independent journalist associations who defend the civil independence of the media outlets here. They come, they visit, they can make investigation, and so this is really an area which really must be known by the international community, and also must be covering by the international media who are here. We are not only doing elections, we are not only, the safe handoff of the power through the election, through the multi-party, through the different forums, but also we have all the soft and the rigid institutions which protects the constitution, the soul of the constitution. So finally, I want to touch the case with the case and explain a lot. As far as I come from the legal perspectives, in 1960, there is no legal and binding and approved and voted act of union between the Somaliland British Protectorate or the Somaliland and between the Italian Somalia or the Somalia. And that's why we have a very strong legal case. And by now, we should have presented this case early time to international community, by not only today, for a long time ago. It's already 35 years. We are really sorry for that. It's unfortunate. But now, those who establish and the lead and the member of the institute and the rest of the Somaliland scholars, and the fairest assignment of Somaliland recognition must be the legal side, because we have very strong legal case. Not necessarily we must explain or file a case, the international courts, like the ICT or no, it's not necessarily, it's one of the venue. But we can present to the United Nations, to other forums. We have a very strong cases. There is a loopholes. There is a unclarity. It's not a binding. We never fought for it. Even those who fought, they make corruption. The parliament who fought for the retroactivity in 1960, they make retroactivity. It's a really illegal basis. So we have a very strong legal case, which it should be the fairest and the foremost assignment of this institute. And I have a very long, because my area is international law, and I studied, and I used to be the lecturer of the universities. I studied a long time, 11 years. I have been lecturer. I studied, I make international article, I publish chapter of books and articles. So I studied a lot. So we have a very strong cases. And finally, the president will make the keynote speaker. But on behalf of Somaliland, we thank you very much for coming now, for coming these 18 May, for coming regularly, for coming and come back, and for your effort, and for your support of Somaliland. But my message is, all these issues explained by the different dignitaries from Somaliland government, the Minister of President, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and the advisor of the President, we have every right to get recognition. Not only that we need it, but also it's unfortunate we can contribute the international. We can contribute international. Take one example. We make our bees locally and homemade. How we make the bees, the Gurti issue, the culture, how we combine the culture and the formal codified law and the informal law. It's a real license land. It's a medicine. It's a medicine and solution for those areas ravaged by the conflict. It's a license land. It's a risk. It's a lost. It's an asset lost. We have something to share. It's not we to get recognition, to get some support, but we have here something to share the wall, to solve the problem of the wall, to lead. We survive and continue 35 years without a member of World Bank, without getting IMF loan, and without international forum. That itself is a challenge to the international world order. And that itself shows how we can survive. Resilience. So we have something to share. Not only we are trying to get the recognition and to gain, is we have something to gain. How to make a peace, how to solve the problem, how to make the compromise, how to sustain with a meager resource. Our budget, which the president is running the country, is a very meager resource. We are supporting, and we have how many security today in the morning. You have seen how many different armies we have, how many security apparatus we have, how many civil servants paid, how many judiciary members paid, how many projects in the development projects we have. So we have something to share. We have a license land. So that is why we need to join international forums and to join international community. So take our visit. So thank you very much for coming. And you also you take, it's a really unfortunate and it's really injustice to keep Somaliland isolated from the international world for a long time. It's a real. So, and nowadays, as you can see, there are alliances and blocks. There are new alliances, and there is a new blocks, and there is a wars, and there is a conflict going on. So Somaliland joined one of those forums. But really also there is a risky. It's an immediate challenge. So in my voice, I'm calling international community, and you also, those dignitaries, take the message. Somaliland needs to join the international forum and to get the support. Because the allies against them, whether they are against Somaliland or whether the movement the Somaliland have taken last 1 year, they want to get rid of. They want to get rid of Somaliland. They want to destroy as quickly as possible Somaliland. So that's why Somaliland needs an urgent and quick support internationally, security-wise, military-wise, and protection is an urgent. This is my message. So thank you very much for coming, and see you soon. Thank you.
Distinguished guests and honored partners, fellow Somalilanders, I thank you very much. I thank everyone who have traveled to participate with us and celebrate on 18 May across the world. There are many dignitaries. So I cannot call names, all of them, but I thank everyone. I thank the ambassadors who have representing their countries, including United Arab Emirates, Kenya, Taiwan, and Ethiopia as well. I see there my close friend and my former MB in Helsinki, Dr. Timo Kalina. Today I'm honored to launch officially Somaliland Independence Recognition Institute in Hargeisa, the capital of Somaliland, on 18 May 2026. So officially we launch the institute. This institute didn't emerge from a moment of impulse or political convenience. It emerged from a long-standing national need, a need repeatedly raised by citizens, whispered in the corridors of diplomacy, and articulated in formal discussions. It is a need that for too long went unanswered. Today, we finally have both the opportunity and the determination to answer it. Today, that need finds its home. This institute will serve as a center where the history of struggle of Somaliland recognition are documented, preserved, and examined with rigor our story deserves. Not through sentiment alone, but through serious academic inquiry and serious policy work. Because our cause is not only just, it is intellectually defensible, legally grounded, and historically undeniable. Somaliland has never been alone in this journey. Around the world, there are individuals, institutions, and governments who believe in what we stand for, who have stood beside us, spoken for us, and sacrificed for us. This institute will become their home. A place where Somaliland friends and partners can come together, contribute meaningfully, and transform solidarity from words into action, from sympathy into tangible, lasting impact. And let there be no ambiguity about what this institute represents to the world. It will stand as a symbol of Somaliland beyond our borders, a living testament to our history, our resilience, our aspirations, and our rightful place in the international community. To that end, it will carry serious and consequential responsibilities. It will follow up and advance Somaliland recognition through every legal and diplomatic pathway available to us, systematically, strategically, and without rest. It will bring together and coordinate Somaliland international friends and partners, aligning voices, consolidating efforts, and ensuring that global goodwill translates into coordinated actions. It will document and pursue accountability for the international crimes committed against the Somaliland state and its people. Because truth must be recorded and those responsible must be named. And it will pursue justice and reparations, ensuring compensation for every victim and every affected community, for those who were imprisoned without cause, for those who lost family members, for those who suffered looting, displacement, and every form of harm inflicted upon them by the Somali state. Their suffering will not be forgotten. Their claim will not expire. This institute is our answer to history. It is our commitment to the future. May it serve Somaliland with honor, and may Somaliland at last receive the recognition it has always deserved. I extend my deepest and most sincere gratitude to Sir William Gavin and Professor Jason McHugh and all their friends for their extraordinary contribution and selfless service to Somaliland. Their unwavering commitment to our cause has been both a source of strength and a beacon of hope. In particular, we honor them for their pivotal role in bringing the idea of this institute from fiction to reality. Without their dedication, advocacy, and belief in Somaliland's rightful place among the nations of the world, the establishment of this institute would not have been possible. Somaliland is deeply indebted to them, and their names will forever be associated with this milestone in our national journey. I thank everybody and everyone, including international media. Thank you very much.